This six-word phrase from 180 AD explains why you checked your phone 3 times reading this sentence. Stay with me, because in the next 24 minutes, I'm going to show you something that will genuinely disturb you. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, the most powerful man on earth in 180 AD, wrote one sentence in his private journal that nobody was supposed to read. He wrote it at 3 a.m. after watching his own mind for 6 hours straight. And that sentence? It describes exactly what you did this morning before you even realized you were awake. Here's what makes this terrifying. You've been running the same mental program for your entire life, the same pattern, over and over, and you've never noticed it. But Marcus did. And once you see it, and I mean actually see it, you can't unsee it. Your relationships change. Your career changes. The way you feel anxiety changes. By minute 14 of this video, you're going to have a moment. I call it the pause, where everything stops making sense for about 5 seconds and then makes too much sense. It happened to me 8 months ago. I haven't been the same since. So here's your choice. You can click away right now and go back to scrolling, or you can stay, and I'll show you the pattern. Let me take you back to where this started. 8 months ago, I was in the worst mental state of my life. Not depressed, worse. I was numb. You know that feeling when you're scrolling Instagram at 2 a.m. and you're not even looking at anything. You're just moving your thumb. That was my entire existence. I'd wake up, check my phone. Work, check my phone. Eat, check my phone. I was a zombie with a bank account. And then I found this book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. You have probably heard of it. Every self-help bro talks about it. But here's what nobody tells you. Marcus wrote this book as a mental defense manual. Not for motivation, not for inspiration, for survival. Because Marcus Aurelius had a problem. The same problem you have. The same problem I had. He couldn't control his own mind. Listen to what he wrote, and I'm translating from Greek here, so this is the raw version. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Sounds nice, right? Inspirational Instagram quote. But here's what he actually meant. And this is where it gets dark. Marcus realized that 90% of what you think are your thoughts aren't yours. They are reactions, automated responses, patterns installed by your parents, your culture, your last breakup, that embarrassing thing you did in 7th grade. You think you're thinking, but you're not. You're being thought. And Marcus, sitting in his tent during a war, covered in blood, watching his soldiers die. He saw this pattern in himself. He watched his mind generate the same loops. Fear of death, craving for control, anger at incompetent generals, grief over his dead children. Same pattern, different day. And he realized, if I don't break this pattern, it will run my entire life. I'll be emperor of Rome, but a slave to my own mind. Sound familiar? Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is just another Stoicism video. I've heard this before. No, you haven't. Because I'm not going to tell you to be disciplined or control your emotions or any of that surface level stuff. I'm going to show you the actual pattern, the code that's running underneath everything. And here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll be able to catch yourself in the pattern in real time. You'll be sitting there, getting angry at someone, and you'll literally feel the pattern activate. And then you'll have a choice, maybe for the first time in your life. But first, you need to see how deep this goes. Because Marcus didn't just discover this pattern in himself. He found it in everyone. And when you see it, you'll realize this is the puppet string. This is what's been pulling you your whole life. All right, let's decode this. Level 1, the stimulus response loop. Marcus called it automatic perception. Here's how it works, and I want you to notice this happening right now as I describe it. Something happens. You react. You justify the reaction. You move on. Simple, right? Example. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You didn't choose to get angry. The anger just appeared. And then your mind immediately built a story. That person is a terrible driver. They don't respect others. They're probably late because they're irresponsible. You just made up an entire narrative about a stranger in 0.4 seconds. Now here's the disturbing part. You do this about 60,000 times per day. Every notification, every time someone doesn't text you back, every time you look in the mirror, every time you check how many views this video has. Stimulus, reaction, story. Move on. You're not living your life. You're responding to your life. Marcus wrote, "Today I escaped anxiety." Or no, I discarded it. Because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. Translation: the anxiety wasn't real. Your pattern made it real. Let me show you how this destroyed my relationship. I had a girlfriend, let's call her Sarah, amazing person, but every time she texted me, I had this weird anxiety. If she took more than 30 minutes to respond, my mind would spiral. She's losing interest. She found someone better. I'm not enough. And then when she did respond, relief for 5 minutes. Then the pattern would reset. I was in a relationship with my fear of the relationship ending, not with Sarah. One night she asked me, "Why do you always seem like you're waiting for me to leave?" And I realized she was right. I was running a pattern installed when I was 6 years old, watching my parents divorce. Stimulus, woman in my life. Reaction, fear of abandonment. Story, she'll leave eventually, so protect yourself. Action, create distance. I wasn't dating Sarah. I was dating my childhood trauma. What pattern are you dating? What pattern is running your career, your friendships, your self-worth? Stay with me, because level 2 is where this gets really uncomfortable. Before we go deeper, I need to know you're actually paying attention. Because here's the thing. Your pattern doesn't want you to see this. Right now, your mind is trying to dismiss what I'm saying. It's saying, I already know this. This doesn't apply to me. I should check my notifications. That's the pattern defending itself. So do this. Take 3 seconds and notice where your mind is right now. If you felt resistance or boredom or the urge to scroll, that's it. That's the pattern trying to stay invisible. If you want to actually break free, and I mean actually change your life, not just watch another video and forget it, hit subscribe right now. Because what comes next is going to make you uncomfortable. And when you get uncomfortable, you'll want to leave. But if you're subscribed, you'll come back. And that's when the real shift happens. Okay, level 2. Level 2, the identity loop. This is where most people spend their entire lives and never realize it. Marcus wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Here's what he meant. You're not resisting. You're defending a story about who you are. Let me explain. You have an identity, a story you tell yourself about yourself. I'm an introvert. I'm not good at math. I'm the responsible one. I'm broken. I'm special. And every single day, your mind looks for evidence to confirm that story. If you believe I'm not good enough, your mind will replay every failure, dismiss every success as luck, interpret neutral interactions as rejection, sabotage opportunities before you even try. Not because it's true, because the pattern needs to be consistent. Here's the part that messed me up. Marcus realized this about himself as Emperor of Rome. Think about that. Most powerful man on earth, commands armies, decides life and death. And he wrote, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it." Translation: even as emperor, he was a slave to his patterns. He'd get angry at a senator. The anger would pass. But the consequences of that anger, the execution, the political fallout, the guilt, those lasted forever. His identity as strong emperor who doesn't tolerate disrespect created more suffering than the actual disrespect ever could. Now look at your life. How many opportunities have you sabotaged because they didn't match your identity? How many relationships have you destroyed because the other person saw a version of you that your pattern couldn't accept? I'll give you my example. I had this identity. I'm the guy who figures it out on his own. Sounds good, right? Independent, capable. But that pattern meant I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't be vulnerable. I couldn't admit when I was wrong. I couldn't accept love, because that would mean I needed someone. I built a fortress and called it strength. And the pattern kept me there, alone, exhausted, pretending, for 15 years. What fortress have you built? What identity is keeping you trapped? Okay, we're at the halfway point. And I need to tell you something. If you're still here, you're different. Most people, and I mean 95% of people, will have clicked off by now. Not because this isn't interesting, but because the pattern doesn't want to be seen. Your mind is designed to keep you comfortable. And what I'm showing you is deeply uncomfortable. So the fact that you're still watching, that means something in you is ready. Here's what's about to happen. In level 3, which is coming up in 2 minutes, I'm going to show you how the pattern perpetuates itself, how it uses your attempts to escape as fuel to keep running. And then, around minute 14, like I promised, we're going to do something together, an exercise that will let you see the pattern in real time. Not intellectually, experientially. That's where the pause happens. But before we get there, I need you to do something. Comment right now. I see the pattern. Just that. 4 words. Why? Because the pattern will try to stop you. It'll say, "That's cringe. I don't comment on videos, I'll do it later." That's the pattern. It keeps you passive. It keeps you watching, never doing. So break it. Right now. Comment, "I see the pattern. I'll wait." Done. Good. You just did something your pattern didn't want you to do. Remember that feeling. Now, level 3. Level 3, the meta pattern. The pattern protects itself. This is what broke my brain. Marcus wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." For years, I thought this meant turn obstacles into opportunities. No, it means the pattern uses your resistance to strengthen itself. Watch. You realize you have anxiety. So what do? You try to fix the anxiety. You read books, you meditate, you go to therapy, you optimize your sleep, you cut out caffeine. And the whole time you're reinforcing the pattern. I am someone who has anxiety. The solution becomes the problem. Let me show you how insidious this is. Self-improvement industry. Pattern. I'm not good enough. Solution: read 50 books, follow 100 gurus, try 20 morning routines. Result: I'm still not good enough, and now I've tried everything. Reinforced pattern: I'm broken beyond repair. Relationship advice. Pattern: people always leave me. Solution: learn attachment theory, communication skills, love languages. Result: overanalyze every interaction, become hypervigilant. Reinforced pattern: I need to control everything or people will leave. Success content. Pattern: I'm not working hard enough. Solution: wake up at 5 a.m., cold showers, 80-hour weeks. Result: burnout, resentment, health problems. Reinforced pattern: success requires suffering. The pattern doesn't resist change, it absorbs it. Every self-help video you watch, every meditation app you download, every time you promise yourself, this time will be different. You're not breaking the pattern, you're feeding it. Marcus saw this. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Translation: stop trying to fix yourself. You were never broken. The pattern is the belief that you need to be fixed, and every attempt to fix yourself proves the pattern right. So, what do you do? If trying to change reinforces the pattern, if doing nothing reinforces the pattern, if everything reinforces the pattern, what the hell do? You stop. You just stop. And that's what we're about to do together. For the next 2 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what Marcus did in that tent 1,840 years ago. The thing that made him right. Confine yourself to the present. Not as motivation, as technology. This is the pause I promised you. And fair warning, some of you are going to feel something break, not in a bad way. In a "oh my God, how did I not see this before" way. You ready? Okay, here we go. I want you to do exactly what I say. Don't think about it, just do it. Step 1, notice your breath. Right now, notice that you're breathing. Don't change it, just notice. Good. Step 2, notice you're watching. Now, notice that you're watching this video. You're hearing my voice. You're seeing the screen. We. Step 3, notice the thought. Now, notice there's a thought in your head right now. Maybe it's, "Where is this going?" Or, "This is weird," or, "I need to check my phone." Don't engage with the thought. Just notice it's there. Step 4, here it comes. Now ask yourself, who is noticing the thought? Did you feel it? That split second where you realized, wait, if I'm noticing my thoughts, then I'm not my thoughts. That's the pause. That's the space Marcus found. That space between stimulus and response. Between the pattern activating and you believing it. Here's what just happened. For maybe half a second, you experienced yourself outside the pattern. The pattern was still there. The thought was still there. But you were watching it, like standing behind a waterfall and watching the water fall without getting wet. Step 5, the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your identity. You are not the pattern. You are the space where all of that appears. Marcus called it the inner citadel, the one place that can never be invaded, never be controlled, never be touched. Not by trauma, not by failure, not by other people, not even by death. And once you know that space exists, once you've felt it even for a second, you can always return to it. That's freedom. Not from the pattern, but from the belief that you are the pattern. Okay, let's bring this back to real life, because here's what you're probably thinking. That was cool, but what do I actually do with this? Fair. Here's the practice. And Marcus did this every single day. 1. Morning, set the watcher. When you wake up before you check your phone, take 30 seconds. Notice, I'm about to start the day. Let me watch what my mind does. That's it. You're not controlling anything. You're just watching. 2. During the day, catch the pattern. The moment you feel a strong emotion, anger, anxiety, craving, whatever, pause for 2 seconds and ask, what pattern just activated? Not to judge it, just to see it. Example, someone doesn't text back. You feel anxiety. Instead of spiraling, you think, oh, there's the abandonment pattern again. Interesting. 3. Evening, review before bed. Ask yourself, how many times today did I catch the pattern? How many times did the pattern catch me? Keep score. Not to win, just to stay awake. Here's what happens when you do this for 30 days. Week 1, you'll catch the pattern maybe 3 to 4 times. It'll feel awkward and fake. Week 2, you'll start seeing it everywhere. It'll actually freak you out a little, like you just got glasses and everything is suddenly HD. Week 3, the pattern will fight back. You'll have a breakdown or get really angry or fall back into old habits. This is normal. The pattern is defending itself. Week 4, the space gets bigger. Reactions still happen, but there's more room, more choice. It's subtle but profound. 90 days from now, you'll barely recognize yourself, not because you've become someone new, but because you've stopped being someone old. And that's when life gets interesting. So, remember that 6-word phrase from the beginning, the one Marcus wrote at 3 a.m. in his tent. Here it is. You have power over your mind, not over the pattern, over your relationship to the pattern. Most people hear that and think it means control your thoughts, be disciplined, be strong. But Marcus knew something deeper. You don't need to control the pattern. You just need to stop believing you are the pattern. That's the entire game. And if you got this far, all 24 minutes, you're already different from who you were when you clicked this video. The pattern is visible now, even if it's just a little bit. Even if you forget tomorrow, you've seen behind the curtain. So here's what happens next. If this changed something in you, even just 1%, subscribe. Not for me, for yourself. Because your pattern will try to make you forget this. It'll bury this video under distractions and doubts and the next scroll. But if you subscribe, you'll keep getting reminded. And every reminder weakens the pattern's grip. Also, I'm creating a 7-day challenge called the Pattern Break Protocol. It's the daily practice Marcus used, updated, for 2025. Comment protocol, and I'll send you the link when it drops next week. And finally, share this video with one person, not everyone, just one person who you think is ready to see the pattern. Because here's the truth Marcus discovered. Once you see the pattern in yourself, you'll see it in everyone. And the most compassionate thing you can do is help others see it too. Thank you for trusting me with 24 minutes of your life. That's rare. That's sacred. Now go live like you're watching the pattern, not running from it. I'll see you in the next one. This is where stars begin.